Want to pick a pocket or two?
No comment.
Very good talent, look at that.
They asked me, all right, my wallet and my mobile phone, and they just showed me a knife. If you have a look at through the mirror, you can just have the word murder.
Hey guys, my name's Ben. I'm from London. This is...
I'm Ugur. I'm from Istanbul, Turkey.
And we both work here at the Big Apple School in Novosibirsk. And today we're going to explain some crime definitions, different types of crime, and we want you to learn them as well as you can in English. So let's get started. So before we get started, I want to explain two main types of crime. In America, you have both a felony crime and you have a misdemeanor crime. Different countries have different definitions for a felony and a misdemeanor, but a felony crime is a pretty big crime. It's like a тяжкое уголовное преступление. So it's a pretty big deal if you have a felony. In America, you can't buy a gun, you can't do a lot of things, you can't get a job really if you have a felony. And then you have a misdemeanor, which is a softer crime. So this is like in Russia you have the административное правонарушение. It's not such a big deal if you have a misdemeanor. But you're from Turkey, what do you have? How do you distinguish between crimes in Turkey?
In Turkey, we can talk about like heavy crimes and the light crimes, if we can just put it into felony. So the higher crimes are like involving kind of killings or murders or stealing something, and that's lower crimes are just kind of pickpocketing and just stealing and so
lesser crimes.
Lesser crimes.
In England, we do not have felonies and misdemeanors, but we have warnings, which are very basic things. So let's say if you get caught with a soft drug in the streets or something, you might get a warning. If you get into a fight, you will get a caution. So a caution is where you get taken to the police station, and the police sergeant or the other police officers there, they will officially give you a caution. And then you have convictions, which is where you go to court and you get convicted of a crime.
Guilty.
Of course, there are different levels of convictions in the UK, but I like the American system because it's easier to see felony or misdemeanor. So we're going to talk about theft. Theft is just a more general word. In Russian, it's воровство. Theft is it's an umbrella word. It covers many different types of crimes. The first one I can think of is car theft. Do you play that game GTA?
Yeah, of course. I love it.
Which was your favorite GTA?
GTA 5.
Yeah.
The last one,
Oh wait, which one was San Andreas? Was San Andreas?
I guess it was a previous one, San Andreas and the Liberty City.
The
last one was GTA 5, and everyone is looking for GTA 6, I guess. In the autumn of 2023, I guess.
No way. No way. Well, Rockstar Games, you better pay us. We're giving you a good advert here. But I loved all of it. My favorite was Vice City.
Vice City, that's a classic.
Vice City. By the way, Vice, it is kind of like an addiction to something bad. Well, it's not necessarily an addiction, it's when you get involved in doing bad things. So vices include prostitution, drugs, alcohol, criminality, things like that. So that's why Vice City is called Vice City.
We can also remember Miami Vice as a series back in the 80s,
Miami Vice provided a inspiration for the game. So well, Grand Theft Auto. So do you know why it's called Grand Theft Auto? Well, obviously, auto comes from cars. That's automobile. Grand theft is a crime in America, a crime that involves stealing anything above $1,000. So that's where the name of the game came from. So theft is just a big general term, so car theft is one of the many types. But coming back to cars, actually, so if you take a car and you're like a teenager, well, not necessarily a teenager, but you take your parents' car.
Without knowing or without asking them to do that.
So this is called joyriding. Joyriding. Joy is like pleasure. Riding, obviously, is when you take something for a ride. So, so it would be like вождение или езда на украденном транспортном средстве. That would be the Russian translation. And then if you want to drive really fast,
Speeding.
Speeding, exactly. Превышение скорость. So in England, yeah, you get a pretty nasty fine if you a штраф, if you drive too fast. How much would you pay in
roughly,
Turkey?
if you are speeding, the penalty will be kind of around 200 US or something.
Yeah, 200. Oh, that's quite a big fine.
Yeah.
You could say in English a hefty fine,
Hefty.
which means a big amount or something. Yeah.
200
In
around,
Russia, it's not that big, I think.
For how much?
I can't remember. Well, guys, let us know in the comments if you have a speeding fine, how much it costs. I believe it's something like between 500 to 5,000 rubles. I don't know. Let us know, guys.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. Declare your speeding offences in the comment section. Another word to do with cars I could think of is if you go to a bank and you rob a bank, you need a car to drive away. So this vehicle is called, do you know what it's called?
Yeah, it's a getaway vehicle.
Yeah, a getaway vehicle. This comes from the phrasal verb to get away. Exactly. And with some phrasal verbs, you can combine them together, the preposition and the phrasal verb itself, to make a noun. So a getaway vehicle, and getaway is all together. So I guess you don't really have any experience with it, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Not yet. Another word, this word is not so much to do with cars, it's more to do with planes and other transport, other vehicles. So this verb is to hijack. So to hijack. The noun is a hijacking. So ugon na samolot.
Now reach for it. You're one of the hijackers too?
And obviously this is not a misdemeanor crime. This is not a little crime. This is definitely
a heavy crime.
Definitely a felony crime.
Yeah.
If you hijack a plane, well, good luck getting a job. The next crime I want to talk about is karmanie kraji. This is called pickpocketing. Do you have a problem with pickpocketing in Turkey?
Yeah, it happens mostly in the touristic places, and people are suffering with that problem mostly in the streets.
It takes a real skill to be a pickpocket. The pickpocket is the name of the person who steals or who's a pickpocket. In London, this used to be a big problem. It's a little bit of a problem now, but nowhere near as much as it used to be. Yeah, I believe there was, I can't remember which film it was. Maybe was it Mary Poppins or was it Oliver Twist? It was a famous film, and they have a famous song about pickpocketing. I want to pick a pocket or two.
I'm afraid these don't grow on trees. You got to pick a pocket or two.
So yeah, it's like a musical song. Yeah. The next one we want to talk about is to do with shops.
Shops.
So what is it called when you take something from a shop and go
and shoplifting.
Yeah, shoplifting, exactly. Shoplifting. So problem in Turkey, shoplifting?
No, we don't have that much compared with the pickpocketing.
Yeah.
Pickpocketing is more in a way. Yeah.
London, people love to shoplift.
Oh, really?
It's a hobby of many. Maybe it's not a hobby, but a lot of people love to go to the big stores like H&M, Zara, and they have these detectors at the doors. Well, you have them here in Russia too. But people, there's
taking them off and just run out of.
Yeah, shoplifting is a big thing here in the UK. But shoplifting is not connected to rioting. So shoplifting is just during peacetime, whereas if you are rioting, you go into a store to loot a store. So looting. So in Russian you say marodерство.
Better medicine? I'll get us something to eat. I'll meet you back here.
The next one I wanted to mention it's like in Russian you say grabеж. Well, there's a few ways you can say this, but it's robbery.
Robbery.
And robbery is a more umbrella word. Theft and robbery are basically, robbery comes under theft.
Theft.
It's a type of theft. Yeah. But then if you go to a bank, what is that called? You go to a bank with a gun.
Bank robbery.
Yeah, a bank robbery, exactly. And like we said before, you need a getaway vehicle if you rob a bank. And the verb, to rob, so grabić. And then in London, we have a big problem with street robbery. And street robbery is called mugging. So many times in London have people tried to rob me. It's really annoying. Like, I can't count how many times people have tried to rob me. Only a few successful times. So only a few times has it
So
been.
they try to grab your mobile phone or
That is
bag
not,
or whatever?
Yeah. Many times people come up to me with a knife. And say, give me your stuff. And in London, if someone asks you, what's the time? You know, they're not asking you for the time. They're asking you to take your phone out so they can see your phone.
And then they grab and run. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to be cheeky, you could say, well, it's time to get a watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to know.
Is mugging a problem in Turkey?
It happened to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it happened to me that they asked me, all right, my wallet and my mobile phone, and they just showed me a knife.
Yeah.
And I gave that everything that I had that in that moment, so I didn't resist because of the knife.
Yeah.
So it happened to me. It's a kind of thing in Turkey too, you can say.
So, but how many times have you been approached by, well, the person is called a mugger. A mugger. How many times have you been approached by muggers?
I guess it's kind of more than 5 or something.
Yeah, okay. So kind of like me. Like in London, it's happened to me about, I don't know, double digits. Double digits means 10 or more. Yeah, so it's happened a lot of times. Not all the time did they get the stuff. But about 2 or 3 times they've taken stuff from me. Well, let us know in the comments, guys, if you have been mugged in your city. Next crime I want to mention, it's not mugging or necessarily robbing, but it is when you walk into a private property, into a private premises without permission. So this is called trespassing.
Trespassing.
Yeah, trespassing.
On the uptown you know what summer don't you?
Next one is it's a more legal definition. It's called breaking and entering. This is a legal term. This is when you trespass, well, you illegally break something to enter. So it could be a door, a window, a fence. So you break it.
Got a warrant? I'm the owner of this lot, which means you're trespassing on private property. As far as the IV goes, it seems to me it's locked, which means you're trying to break and enter.
Breaking into.
Exactly,
Breaking
which is a
into a
phrasal
house.
verb, exactly. You could use that phrasal verb and make it a noun as well. You could say a break-in. I had a break-in. But trespass does not involve necessarily breaking entrance. You could just walk onto someone's property. And whereas people who break and enter a property and steal things from the property are called, what are they called?
Burglary.
Burglars, yeah, exactly. Burglars, and the crime is burglary. So the way you pronounce this, just think of a Big Mac. What is a Big Mac? It's a burger. Yeah, burger. So have you ever had a burglary in your house?
No. What about you?
Luckily, I've never actually had a burglary. Whereas in London, it's really big. It's everywhere, all over London. But my mum once, there was kind of a burglary. My mum once had a handbag at the front door, and someone went in and took the handbag. So technically that was a little burglary. Which is not very nice. But yeah, guys, let us know if you've had a burglary in your area. We'd love to know. The next word that we're going to talk about is, the Russian definition is устраивать засаду. Well, how would you describe this?
We can say that something happens without someone's acknowledgement, we can say. in a way. So it's happening spontaneously, you can say.
Yeah. So this is where someone hides. And they
tries to harm you.
Yeah, they try to harm you. So yeah, it's like a military tactic. So in English we say to ambush. I don't know the etymology of this word, but yeah, it sounds like the word bush, which is...
Maybe they're hiding behind the bush, so it's making an ambush, maybe.
Perhaps. We don't actually know.
We're not sure about it.
Yeah, but to ambush doesn't just happen in a military context. It can happen with gangsters who, let's say one gang is selling drugs and some other gang wants the drugs and wants the money. They will hide somewhere and they will ambush
and
the other
there's a standoff,
gang.
yeah.
And then there's another word which is a more general word, which is like napadение in Russian. And this is assault.
Which is attacking physically, we can say.
That's what it means, yes. It's a more general word. It's like we covered the words theft and robbery, but assault is a more, it's like a mother word. It's an umbrella word. It covers many different types of crimes. You could say to attack, or you could also say to assault, which is the verb as well. And then we have another verb, pохищение, a word. Sorry, that's a word, not a verb. Pохищение. That is a kidnapping.
We're in an elevator!
Have you ever been kidnapped?
No.
In Turkey, is this a thing?
What about you?
No, I've never been kidnapped, but I'm English, but I was born in Brazil. And in Brazil, kidnapping happens all the time. My parents had friends who were kidnapped. It's pretty dangerous in Brazil. I mean, definitely visit Brazil if you have the time and stuff, but it can be dangerous. So you don't want to walk around the streets
alone. Or nighttime.
Some cities you can. It's all right. But
some cities you can't. It's some kind of dangerous in a way.
And then you have hostage. So when you kidnap someone, you take someone hostage. Zaложник. Some kidnappers, they like to hurt the people. So in Russian you say pыtka. So pыtka is torture. So maybe you haven't been tortured, or have you?
No, but not physically, but maybe mentally. I can say mental torture.
And you can also use this as a verb, to torture someone. I remember, actually, no, it's not Turkey, it was Azerbaijan. There was this James Bond film. Oh, sorry, I thought it was Turkey, but it was actually Azerbaijan. It was with Pierce Brosnan, and he was being tortured with this special machine which choked him, like zadishat, to choke. Does Turkey have special torture tools? Or is this just...
No, just conventional,
just conventional,
international.
So I know there are some Chinese torture tools which are pretty interesting. From another James Bond film.
I remember the rat torture. So they're putting the rat on your belly and they just cover it with a bucket, the metal bucket. So they heated up the metal bucket and just rat is trying to find its way out.
Oh dear.
So there's no way out, so it just digs a hole inside of your stomach and just gets inside of your body. So it's a kind of disgusting torture in a way.
Well, guys, let us know what your favorite kind of torture is. What are you going to do to us if you needed to kidnap us? Now we're going to talk about words related to killing people. I mean, not exactly the nicest of subjects, but good words to know, especially if you're watching crime shows, crime movies. You're going to hear a lot of these words in all sorts of films. The first word is an umbrella word. It is homicide, which is just a legal way of saying the death of someone. So homicide, it kind of sounds like genocide.
Yeah.
What's the difference between homicide and genocide?
Genocide is kind of masses. You can include the masses instead of one single person or a couple of people.
Exactly. Homicide is more just a general word for killing. And we have different types of homicide, of course. So the first one I'd like to talk about is, well, the Russian one would be убийство по неосторожности. In English, we say negligent homicide. So negligent homicide is when, well, you know the verb to neglect.
Neglecting,
So when you neglect something, it means you do not pay attention to something. So negligent homicide means you kill someone by accident. But you kill someone by accident, not through an action, but just through not caring. The next one is непредумышленное убийство. So this is almost the same as negligent homicide. It is, what is it called?
It's manslaughter.
Yeah, manslaughter, exactly, manslaughter. So the verb to slaughter, maybe you know to slaughter?
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse, exactly, like a butcher slaughters. Slaughter is more for killing animals. Yeah, it's more for killing animals. But manslaughter can include
action involving like speeding and just hitting someone and running in the traffic, you can say.
Exactly, because that's an action. Negligent homicide is when you don't take action. And
situation, in a way.
Exactly, it's like where you don't do something and this kills someone. Whereas manslaughter is when you do something reckless. Reckless means that it is without care. You do something reckless, like I don't know.
Reckless driving.
Yeah, like you said, exactly like you said, exactly. So you drive in a crazy, aggressive way. All right. Then we have преднамеренное убийство. This is killing when you have the intention to do this.
Yeah.
And what is that called?
Murder.
Murder, exactly, murder. In some films, is it The Shining? We have the film, they have this writing which says red rum.
Red rum. If you have a look at through the mirror, you can just have the word murder.
Red rum.
Yeah, so red rum is murder backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
Yeah. And there's different types of murder. Well, in America, I believe, there's 3 types of murder. I'm not a lawyer, I can't explain all the different types. And then, you might need someone to kill someone for you.
Contract killer or killing.
Exactly, a contract killer, exactly, yeah.
We have a computer games for that, Hitman.
Yeah, Hitman. Hitman is a contract killer, exactly, that's it. The next word to discuss is словесное оскорбление. This is when you are...
Verbal.
Yeah, verbal, exactly. Verbal abuse. Is verbal abuse a crime in Turkey?
Yeah, it depends on the things that you choose to say, we can say. If it's so kind of an upper tone, it's a crime. It's a crime. Yeah.
In America, you have the First Amendment of the Constitution. So in America, of course, you have the Constitution. And the most important thing in the American Constitution is the right to free speech. So you can say whatever the hell you like in America. Well, kind of. We'll talk about that more in a second. But you can give people verbal abuse. If you say something that destroys someone's business and is not true, then that's illegal. You can get taken to court for that, and they can sue you. To sue, by the way, podat v sud. In England, some words can be considered as a hate crime.
Hate speech, hate crime.
Yeah, hate crime. So that's illegal in England. In Russian, it would be called something like разжигание расовой ненависти. In England, that's called inciting racial hatred. So if you decide to say something bad about another race, technically you can be taken to court and you can maybe go to prison. Or if you say something bad about gay people or something like that, you can get in trouble. Whereas in America, you can say pretty much what you like, but people don't have to give you a job, of course. Yeah, let's say if you use like a really bad word, like the N word, it's legal, you can say it, but it's going to cause a lot of problems for you in America. Whereas in England, you can't say that. You could, I believe you could potentially get a big fine.
The same in Turkey. Same in Turkey.
Yeah. The next word we want to talk about is преследование. So this is when someone follows someone. What is this called?
Stalking.
Stalking. And the person is called a...
Stalker.
Yeah, stalker. My last name is Walker, but don't worry. I'm not a stalker, but...
And Andrei Tarkovsky's famous movie is Stalker.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Absolutely, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and the verb is to stalk. Yeah, to stalk. The next word is домогательство. So this is when you harass someone. So yeah, have you been harassed before?
No comment.
Harassment is a very general word.
word.
Yeah, it's a general word. There's many different types of harassment. So if you wolf whistle, which is, like, I can't do a wolf whistle, but it's like...
Yeah.
But can you do a wolf whistle? Very good talent, look at that. I've struggled to do it for many years, but...
That's a harassment.
Yeah, it can be a harassment if you do it to a lady and she doesn't like it. Or to a guy, I don't know.
Or just woofing. Like you're a wolf and just howling behind the lady. That's kind of an harassment too.
So there's different types of harassments. You could say verbal harassment, which is like verbal abuse. We've already discussed this. Then you have sexual harassment. So obviously, if you sexually harass someone, it's going to cause problems.
Probably,
for you.
Of course.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to get a job pretty easily.
And a label for your entire life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in England and America, we have this thing called the sex offenders register.
Or predators.
Yeah. Sex offenders register is like a legal database where people who commit, who commit sexual offences they get on this list, and yeah, you're not going to teach in a school or something like that. Then you have sexual harassment, and then you have an even more serious crime, which is iznasilovanje, which is rape. So sexual harassment can be a misdemeanor, it can be a felony. It depends on the severity of it. Whereas rape is always a felony. Like you can't just have like a misdemeanor rape. No, it's like a crime you go to prison for a long time. I'm not going to get into too many details about what rape is, but it's basically just when you have sex with someone without their permission, basically. And the verb
or your own will.
Exactly. And the verb is to rape someone. Coming back to assault crimes, at home, if a husband and a wife, they hit each other, that's called domestic abuse. So bitovoje nasilje.
Come on, honey. Come to dad.
Yeah, this happens in every country. I don't think there's any country that doesn't have domestic abuse. Domestic, if you look at this word, dom, Russian, it means house. Well, kind of like a Latin word, domicile is an adjective for home. And then, of course, you have жестокое обращение с ребенком, and that is child abuse. So that's a very big word.
Big word, yeah.
Yeah, it's when you do basically very bad things to kids.
Even the families can just commit kind of a child abuse
Exactly,
for their own kids in a way, so abusing, like drinking and hitting them.
Exactly, that's child abuse. It's a big umbrella word, so there's many terms. The next word to talk about is экономическое преступление. So think of Wolf of Wall Street. This is a big kind of financial crime.
The year I turned 26, I made $49 million, which really pissed me off because it was $3 shy of $1 million a week.
So what is this called?
It's a white-collar crime.
Yeah, white-collar crime. What is a white collar? Well, this is a воротник. So white collar. So белый воротник is the literal translation into Russian. The opposite of white collar is blue collar.
Blue collar.
Yeah, blue collar is just workers, people who work in manual jobs.
Labor,
Yeah, manual labor was white collar. Think of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Executives, we can call it,
Exactly. And then we have взятки. So взятки, in Russia, it's not really as much as a thing as it used to be. So in English, what do we say when you give money?
It's a bribe or bribery.
Bribery, exactly. So, I would be too scared to give a bribe to a police officer in Russia. It's scary now.
It's scary. And Turkey too, but it was completely all right when I was living in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That was so widespread kind of thing, so you can just do anything that you want with using bribery.
I guess in the 90s in Russia, like when things were a bit more lawless, it was a bit easier to pay bribes. But I would never dare to do it now in Russia because you can get in big trouble for that. The next crime to talk about is chantage. This is the Russian word, so chantage.
It's also Turkish.
So Turkish. So interesting how so many links between the languages. In English, it's called blackmail. Blackmail. So what does it mean to blackmail someone?
So if you have a kind of information about someone with something unpleasant, so you are using against that person in order to gain something in exchange, in a way. We can say.
Exactly. Yeah. So in England, at least, it's a crime, and I believe.
Turkish.
So it is a crime in Turkey as well. So, if you have information which is embarrassing, like Ugur said, you can go to jail if you misuse this information for your personal gain. And we can use the verb to blackmail someone. Blackmail is all together. It's one word. And then coming back to money, so отмывание денег. So let's say if you're a drug dealer, you have a lot of cash, you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, and you're just trying to get away from the taxation or the legal stuff. You need to just do that thing.
So it's called money
laundering.
Yeah, money laundering.
There is more money here than we could spend in 10 lifetimes. I certainly can't launder it.
In America and England, we have laundromats where you do your laundry, which means stirka, where you wash your clothes, basically. So you wash your money. The next one, I'm going to talk about money again. Поделка. Поделка is when you make fake money.
Imitate something.
Yeah,
Try to
imitate money, exactly. So in English it's called forgery. And you could say to forge. To forge is the verb. In Turkey, what is the money like? Is the cash hard to forge?
It was easy like 10 years ago, but now they just put kind of a hologram in it and kind of special ink that is easily being detected under the black light or something. So it's not that easy right now to just forge it. Yeah.
In England, they changed the banknotes quite recently, and they're kind of plasticky.
Like the fives.
Yeah, the fives. To be honest, all of them I think are
really?
Yeah, they're now all plastic. To be honest, it's kind of a shame. Like I miss like the older money. It smells really nice.
Nice, as like paper.
Yeah. I love Russian money. It looks like money.
Money.
It
The
really
banknote
is,
money, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I know it says on the Russian banknotes that forgery, подделка, you can go to prison. Or it says something like that on the Russian banknote. And then we have another word that we want to talk about. It is мошенничать. So this is when you want to cheat someone. You want to make a scheme that takes people's money.
Without giving any kind of product or service in return.
Yes,
we can say,
exactly. So you could say to
fraud.
Yeah, to fraud someone or to scam someone. Yeah, to scam. To commit fraud, you can also say that as well. And the person who does this is a scammer. Or maybe you could say a fraudster as well.
I guess one of the most famous one, all right, I have that amount of money and I can't be able to just use that money because I need some clearance for this. Can you please help me?
Yeah.
Send me your bank account number, then boom. Yeah.
Let us know if you've been scammed. Let us know what scams are prevalent in your country. We'd love to hear.
Yep.
And then the next word to talk about is more of a state crime. Let's say if you are a spy, maybe not a spy,
not loyal.
Not loyal to your state. Yeah. This is like государственная измена. So in English, this is called
treason.
Yeah, treason. Exactly. Treason. So usually the person is a traitor. Maybe you might know the famous British spy Philby. So Philby, do you know? Philby, he was a famous British spy who went to the Soviet Union and he committed treason because he was a spy basically. He gave all the secrets from the British government and gave them to Russia. So yeah, he committed treason. And in some countries, I believe in America, let me know if I'm wrong, but you can get the death penalty.
In Turkey, it's life.
Life in prison.
Life in prison.
Yeah, so death penalty, смертная казнь. So England, we don't have the death penalty, but yeah, like Turkey.
Like Turkey, we don't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, you will get life in prison in the UK. So if you're a drunken idiot on the street and you're shouting, you're making a lot of stupid noises, and you're just a public nuisance. Nuisance is неприятность. If you're a public nuisance, there's a special term for this. And it's нарушение общественного порядка.
Another call. I'm sure the neighbors are exaggerating.
So in English, this is a public disorder. Yeah, public disorder offense. Yeah, this is not necessarily a felony crime. It can be, it's mostly like a misdemeanor crime.
Not big.
So in Turkey, you have a lot of tourists who come.
Yeah, in a way. So they are shouting, they're breaking the bottles of beer.
Yeah, there are many different types of public disorder offenses. Yes, it's just basically being a public idiot, basically. The next one, the Russian word and the English word are almost the same. Vandalism. So Vandalism. Yeah. The person who commits vandalism is a vandal. Vandal. So what is vandalism?
It's kind of destroying the property that belongs to the community, we can say, or to the government or state.
Or anyone's property. Yeah. So
or the private one, you can say.
Yeah. Or graffiti, stuff like that. Yeah. Vandalism is just a general word. So London, lots of graffiti. Some graffiti can be really cool, in my opinion. Some can
Agree.
Yeah, but sometimes if it's on your front door, it could be a problem.
Yeah, in an offensive way.
I mean, it depends on what your front door looks like.
If
you have a beautiful front door, probably don't want someone to spray paint all over the front door. But let us know your opinions on graffiti. Is it a cool thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. Are you a tagger? A tagger is the person who writes tags in the streets. Yeah. It can be cool, in my opinion, if you're on the train and you're looking at the train tracks and you see the graffiti. That can be cool, actually.
Yeah, something that's kind of creative. That's cool.
Because train tracks are boring anyway. So in my opinion, it adds a lot of color to the train tracks. So the next word to talk about is, I guess it can be considered vandalism. But this is when you burn down a property. When we set fire to. Podjog or podjeć is the verb. So to commit arson. Arson. A-R-S-O-N. Arson. So this is a noun and a verb. Yeah.
It can also use to just black out the evidence of some place.
So arson in England is a big crime. You can get in big trouble if you set fire to something. Actually, and you can, even if you're a stupid teenager and you think, oh,
that's okay, but you can't get away with it.
Let's set fire. So podjeć, let's set fire to this shed or something. You can go to prison for a few years for that, and
it's something serious.
Yeah, so don't be careful.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, and be careful with your cigarette lighter if you're a smoker. So we just provided a brief overview of criminality-related words. Naturally, this is a huge subject. There are dictionaries dedicated to this topic, so we couldn't fit all the words into this video, but these words would just give you a little glimpse into the subject.
Just a tiny taste.
Yeah, tiny taste. Absolutely. So be sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to our channel, or check out our website, which is www.bigappleschool.com, where you can find other interesting videos like this. You can find podcasts, articles, and more information about the courses we offer. So we'll see you next time, guys.
See you.